Hello and welcome to Dream Time. We are going to go on a journey today. And this journey is part of my dream journey. I started journaling my dreams quite a while ago. I'm thinking about 2020, 2019. I started going through the dark night of the soul journey. There was a lot of things in my life that I think we get to that point where we start to look into other things, and I knew that there was a lot of fairy tales going on in the real world and the 3D matrix, and I just started deep diving into things. And my dreams were something that I really deep dived into, and my energy connection with body and mind and source. And when I get around people, I pick up their energy, and sometimes it's either not good or it's wonderful. If they're sick, I pick up their sick energy. If they're happy, I pick up their happy energy. It all depends. So I've always done that, and I wasn't sure really what I was doing or what was going on. And then recently, I started getting messages that you are channeling. We are channeling. We call it so many other things. We call it the psychic realm. We call it this. We call it that. We're seeing things, and there's so many different names. It's kind of like different religions, but we are channeling, and we are channeling from source. We're channeling from our ancestors. We're channeling from spirit guides. We are channeling because we're star seeds. So that's what we are. We are seeds of the cosmos. We're all one, yet unique. So let's deep dive into my journey. And I picked out the best parts of it, things that we might need to know at this point. Because when I dream of future things and sometime my now space. When I have dreams, I'll dream of people that I'm going to meet, or I'll dream of people that have passed, but they don't communicate with me. It seems like they are, but they're not. And maybe I'll explain that today, or maybe I'll explain it another day. Um, you know what? I'm going to explain that a little bit while it's fresh in my mind, because I think everybody needs to know what I'm seeing in a dream. When I dream of someone that has passed that I love, I'll see them and they'll be smiling at me. They'll be like looking at me, but they won't be really communicating with me. It's like they're looking through me. I had a dream about my brother, Robbie, and my older brother's passed away. He was murdered. And I had a dream about him. We were sitting on a bench, and it was during all the pandemic and all that crap. And I was telling him about, the mass and this and this and people walking around with bubbles on their head and shields. And I'm telling him this as we're sitting on this park bench, and all he's doing is laughing and laughing. Like he's listening to me, and everything is so funny because it's goofy if you really look at it. And I'm laughing, but yet he's not responding to me. He's not really communicating with me. It's like he's looking right through me. So that's what I'm talking about. But when I am communicating with people in a dream space where they're helping me and they're actually communicating with me, like the gentleman down the road before we had even met him, I had a dream that I was lost in a foreign country. And I was running up and down the streets, and I was really scared, and it was nighttime, and I couldn't find my way. And I ran into this merchant, and he was just this short man, very happy, jolly, very wonderful, very nice. And I couldn't understand him, and he couldn't understand me, but I got it out that I was lost. He understood, he picked up something about that. And he took me to the hotel where people that I was with were. And as he was walking, he had me by the hand, and he was patting me on my hand or on my arm, like it'll be okay. And I called him Lucky because I couldn't understand his name. So to me, he was lucky. And it was a wonderful energy experience with Lucky in my dream. Well, we have a gentleman down the road that appeared a couple years ago. He was going around, and my husband works in the yard all the time. He loves the yard. And he stopped and said, banana, banana. We have banana trees out there. So my husband, he's Cuban, so he speaks Spanish. And he's been here. We found out he's been here for 40 years, but he doesn't like the English language. He knows little bits of it, but he's Spanish. So my husband and him kind of did a charades type thing. And my husband gave him a couple banana trees. They come up beautifully everywhere for free. Just give it to him. And that's what he wanted. So every day he goes and gets food for his ducks and his goats and his birds and whatever. And he passes our home. So my husband and him started getting this kind of relationship going on where if he needed something or he'd stop to say hi and this and that. And we found a few Spanish words off the internet, gracias amigo and things like that, because he brings us duck eggs and chicken eggs. So we've had this relationship going for almost 2 years now. And there was some things that I started to get into the picture because I'm never really there. It was him and my husband. And then I started getting into the picture because I was thanking him for the duck eggs and stuff. Well, the things that he was doing and the energy that I was feeling, I thought, that is Lucky. That is the guy from my dream that I had like a year. I think I had it almost a year and a half before we had met him. So as we started intertwining with Lucky, he'd stop and we'd hug and this and that. We got to the point where we are like family to Lucky. And his name isn't, it's Blanco, but I still call him Lucky, and he doesn't understand it. And I'm not going to explain it because I'm just not, because I don't think he's 70 years old. He's an older gentleman. He's short and he's stout. He's physically healthy. He's a wonderful, wonderful man and a wonderful part of our world and our family. And we can connect, not completely through language. We're learning Spanish, and I think he's learning from us. But we have this, he said, family. And we said, yes. And every time he comes here, we tell him we love him. So that is out of a dream, and that is into reality now. And that is what I see. So that's just little bits of things. This, on 8/13 of 2022, I had a dream that I was having a bad time in my dream. And I don't know if I couldn't find anybody or I was just lost again. And I felt arms come up behind me and grab me around my stomach and held me so tight. But I didn't feel threatened. I felt so much love and security. And I could feel from my heart space that this was something that I was connected to, that was making me feel like I had somebody there, the support. And I remember walking on the feet, like it was like, the father-daughter dance, how they stand on their father's feet and they dance. Well, that's what we were doing. I was dancing. And yet I didn't see him. A lot of times I don't see. I just feel within my heart, and I know that it's safe and it's for me. And I remember going up these steps. I was still on the feet, and the entity, the being, still had the arms around me, securing me. And I was on the feet, and we were running up these stairs like we were floating. I don't know if we were running or floating. At that point, I had no idea. And then I remember when I got off the feet, I see, me and James have talked about this, and we never see ourselves in dreams. He's even looked through for mirrors to see himself. And this one dream, that dream on 8/13 of 2022, when I was dancing with whatever I was dancing with, whether it was my masculine or my higher self. I'm thinking it was my higher self. That's what source is telling me. It was your higher self. And felt like I was floating and I was loved and I was secure. And I remember seeing myself when I stepped off the feet or whatever it was. I seen myself as a child. I'm thinking it was my inner child that separated from me in this dream. And I had my arms stretched way out and I had these round, like goggle glasses on. They were really strange, but they were round. And I was blonde with long blonde hair. And I had my arms stretched way out and I was spinning and I was looking up. And I felt like I was with everything and everything was with me. And I felt so much love. And I've never felt that before. The words he spoke touched my heart. The world was at my feet and stars in my eyes. Those were the words that I heard when I was twirling. My reflection was perfect. I was perfect. And everybody I see in my dream, they're perfect. I woke up that morning thinking of a song, If It Makes You Happy by Sheryl Crow. And I went and listened to it. And it really did. It brought me in to what that dream meant. It was taking me to a happy, joyful place that I needed to be at, but it was in dream space. And that's okay. And at that point in my journey, and I wrote it in my dream journal, 8 days I was smoke free. I had started to purge things in my life at that point. And I wrote up here, I had drew a picture of the girl spinning with the goggles on. And I wrote, I am with a sideways infinity symbol. And that was that dream. I know deep down that this world is jumping timelines. On 8/13 of 2022, I wrote that. Future healing will be light, frequency, and sound. I've been saying that for a while. I have seen that in my dreams. The torsion field will heal and purify. Perfect. And then I also drew the spinning and the energy coming up. So that was both on 8/13 of 2022. Now, in between that, and I didn't put a date on this, but it was in between that and 9/26 of 2022. So I have a date on that one. I wrote, absorbed myself in my spiritual development with meditation, silence, just listening from within and grounding myself with the earth. Everything is divine timing. Remember who you are, really go within. Pure consciousness, pure source, multidimensional energy. Perfect. Dancing through the veil. I've been dancing for a while through this veil. I've been dancing in other dimensions. I've been astro traveling. I've been soaring through the cosmos. I've been doing a lot of things in my life. And I've got to this point where I knew that I had to speak now. I have been an emotional observer for a long time. I've been watching other people and observing what people are doing and knowing what I'm going through and what I'm feeling. And I know now that Source is telling me that you need to use your voice chakra and you need to get this word out. You need to help people because that's what I'm here for. And that's what I'm doing. On 11/23 of 2022, as I drifted off, I was surrounded by people drowning in water. Water was everywhere. I seen yellow life preservers and I started throwing them to people. So many people drowning. As I threw the last life preserver, I realized there was not one for me. I heard a voice say, just tread water. You have been doing it for a long time now. To prepare you for this day, you are ready. You have learned to lean on people, and they and then they left you to make you strong enough for others to lean on you. It is time for you to free fall. No one is there to catch you but me. I will catch you. I have always been with you. To be human is to be beautifully flawed. And that is something I wrote, and I think people really need to think about this. We are all beautifully flawed. Human design is beautifully flawed. But we have to go with confidence, and we have to go within our heart and love ourselves, because when we love ourselves, you'll find that people will start to love you, even with your flaws. Um, I don't think, let's see what else. On 4/22 of 23, and today I felt the shift in timelines. It was strong at the crossroad in my journey. I took the right path, a perfect choice for me and my journey. Question that I have been asking Source are being answered in codes. What am I learning and discovering about myself is amazing. I am an empath, a way shower, a channeler, a dreamer, energy magnet, an indigo child. So there was a lot of things that were coming to me, whether dream form or awakening form. And I was writing them down. And you should write your story down too. You are on a journey, and we all have our own story, and our stories are very important. And what we are doing might be affecting someone else, because they might be doing similar things and not understanding it. This one I decided to read. It was on 6/17 of 2023. As I drifted off, I heard a voice say, you have your wings. You will see it and feel it, and you will know what the love of service to self and service to others feels like heaven on earth. You have your wings, and you will know that I was the one, the I am, my gift to you. And I put a heart. Well, I wasn't sure about that. I just wrote it down. It was just something that I channeled and I wrote it down. Well, I had bought, it was actually the Soul Helper Oracle. I purchased that, and I wanted a moonstone. For some unknown reason, I was being drawn to a moonstone. And I was getting aggravated that night. I guess my trigger moment was going with me. I couldn't find a good moonstone, and I was trying to do my order, and I wanted to top it off to get the free shipping or whatever I was doing. I don't even remember what I was doing. And I come across this ring right here, and it said a moonstone. And I knew it wasn't a moonstone, but I just really, really liked the ring. To me, it was like my little crystal ball. It was just like really pretty. So I bought it. It wasn't really expensive. I mean, I don't know, it was like $4.23 or something. I knew it wasn't. It says it was real silver, but I knew it wasn't. But I just liked it, so I bought it. So anyway, I get this ring, and in this ring, it was a moonstone, and it said angel wings. There's wings on the side of this ring, and I had ordered it on the same day I had that dream that I had got my wings. And it's a gift from me to you, and it's the I am. So these were my wings. I took it as that, because that was just really cool. Now, this is a really good dream, and it it correlates with what I was marinating on the other day when I found out about it in my human design. Um, my friend had done a human design for me a long time ago, and I got to read. I'm not a reader. I'm just not. I'm dyslexic and I get impatient with reading sometimes, and sometimes I get it gets boggled in my mind. I'm more of a watcher, like a video or a movie or something. So anyway, I had got the human design that she had did for me, and I read, I'm thinking it was 24 pages or something, and I read like, I mean, 4 or 5, and then I misplaced it and things happened and I never found it again. So me and her were talking, and I said, would you send me that again? So the other day she sent me my human design, and I started reading it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. It was everything that I am, that I'm love, and I'm supposed to be out here doing this. And I'll get into more of it one day, but the one that really jumped out at me was the Jupiter thing. So I'm going to read my dream, and then I'm going to read what my human design said in one of my things. In my dream, I was dancing in the cosmos. I was dancing in the solar system with someone in my dream. And I don't know who it was, but I felt so loved. So I'm assuming it was like my higher self or a spirit guide or source. And while I'm dancing and dreaming, I heard, did the wind sweep you off your feet? Those are the words I heard. So when I woke up, I felt, and I felt so much love and peace at that moment when I was dancing. And when I woke up, the dream was just so, it was so real. Like I had really been there. And I know I was, because I was astro traveling. So I looked on Google for those words, because I had no idea if I'd even find anything. And when I looked up the words, I got a song called Drops of Jupiter by Train. I might have heard it one day, who knows. I didn't recognize it. I didn't recognize the group or anything. So I went in and I listened to it. And I listened to it with the lyrics also. It was a beautiful moment when I listened to the song and read the lyrics. Um, when I received that reading of the human design, I'm going to read that part. And then I'll read parts of the Drops of Jupiter song, and listen really close to this. This is the part that's in my human design. Okay. And this is Jupiter, good fortune, universal support, Cancer, 17, attraction, containing principle. That's what it says. There are times in every person's life when everything falls in place, and that person feels that he or she is totally supported and safe in the right place at the right time. In those moments, Jupiter, the god of good fortune, has aspected the person's life. In space, Jupiter is the big planet with the huge gravitational pull that has gobbled up most of the meteors that have entered our solar system. In that sense, most scientists believe that Jupiter is highly reasonable for the Earth's being able to develop into such an Eden of life. Jupiter protects us from cosmic harm. In your invisible garment, so the invisible garment was in with the other for me. The Jupiter principle is your personal safety net. Remember what I said about the dream, that I felt so safe and at peace. The Jupiter experiences come just often enough to keep you going in life. They come when you need them the most. They come when you least expect them. They come to remind you of who you really are and why you are human. In a sense, you could look at Jupiter as a higher octave or a collective version of your ascendant. Your personal behavior ethics give you a template from which you make all your doingness decisions. When those decisions are made in integrity, step in and says, job well done. In those Jupiter moments, you are pulled up out of your personality above your ego view of life and into a galactic overview. So I'm thinking the night, I'm reading this I wrote it all down for everybody, and this is kind of the first time I'm really going over it. I'm thinking that the night I had that dream about that song when I was dancing in the cosmos, uh, did the wind sweep you off your feet moment. And I felt love and peace at that moment. I'm thinking that that was a galactic overview for me at that point, because I think I was having some hard times at that moment. I don't know. I don't remember what my mood was, which I probably should have wrote it down. And then it says you realize that your life is much bigger than thought, that than you thought it was. Just you struggling and bumbling along, but that it is you dancing with the universe in a divine choreography. These Jupiter's experiences stimulously bring you to humility because you realize that holy nature of your connection with the earth, and they expand your consciousness without inflating it so that you recognize your greater connection with the big dance. Drops of Jupiter. Now, that was the human design and the invisible garment of me, of my birth date, where I was born and who I was. And I had never read that before. And it was number 17. Love that number, which is an 8, which is, infinity. So now you've got the Drops of Jupiter by Train. This is the song that I dreamt about. And I wrote down, I didn't write all the na-nas and the hey-heys, but I wrote down the most important part of these words of this song. Now that she's back in the atmosphere, which I was astro traveling, with drops of Jupiter in her hair, she acts like summer and walks like rain, reminds me that there is a time to change. Since the return from her stay on the moon, she listens like spring and she talks like June. But tell me, did you sail across the sun? I'm a sun sign, I'm a Leo. Did you make it to the Milky Way to see the lights are faded and that heaven is overrated? Tell me, did you fall for a shooting star, one without a permanent scar? And did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? Now, we are all as a human body looking for ourselves out there. The flowing with everybody, the being like everybody, the wanting to act like everybody, loving the same movie everybody loves, the robotic movement of everybody. But what this is telling me is did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? So that's telling me I was dancing with my higher self. I was having a galactic expansion. And this song literally helped me do that. And then it says, now that she's back from the soul vacation, tracing her way through the constellation, she checks out Mozart art while she does tableau. And I've been doing some Taibo meditation. Reminds me that there's room to grow. Now that she's back in the atmosphere, I'm afraid that she might think of me as plain old Jane Doe. Told a story about a man who was too afraid to fly, so he never did land. But tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet? And did you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day and head back to the Milky Way? And tell me, did Venus blow your mind? Was it everything you wanted to find? And did you miss me while you were looking for yourself out there? And now you're lonely, looking for yourself out there. I just felt that this really, really needed to be shared with everybody, because what that is telling me, that all these years I have been looking for myself out there and going along with it, what everybody thought of me, what everybody felt of me, what the persona of me was. And when I combine my masculine, my feminine, my inner child, and I went through the crown source, through the heart space, and started to really love myself, it shows on the outside. Now I'm a magnet to people because they know that I'm loved. And I feel that. And I love that. And if I can help anyone, I will. That that's just who I am. And I won't hide it. I won't be anybody but me. And that's what I wanted to share today. That was part of the dream. And I think that right now that's a good message for everybody. Stay in within. Go within, and don't let anybody judge who you are. Follow your dreams, listen to your dreams, and listen to your intuition. It'll give you the best advice you ever had, and make the right choices. That's all we can do. So, with that being said, I hope this dream journey that I took you on really, really opened your thoughts and your mind and helps you on your journey to self-discovery. And I love everyone. And may every step in your journey be magical. And you know what? Just be you.